There's a storm out on the ocean, and it's moving, come on, this away. If your soul's not anchored in Jesus, you will surely drift away. There's a storm out on the ocean.
Gentlemen, it's me, Jermaine. Today I want us to continue to discuss Job. For the last couple of weeks we have been discussing the various issues that Job is going through in his particular life. And if you don't know the backdrop of the story, let me refresh you, although you can go back to 2 weeks ago when I first started. I'm just going to bring us up to this point today and refresh your memory for those of you who have watched. Satan is in the heavenly realm with God. And God asked Satan, "Where have you been?" And Satan says, "To and fro the earth." And God says, "Have you considered my servant Job?" Satan has one perception of Job as being someone who is spoiled by God. Satan tells God that you give Job everything that he needs. He wants for nothing. Is there some statement of truth in this particular statement? Yes. Is there some falsehood in Satan's perception of Job? Because it is correct, Satan is correct when he indicates that Job has everything at his fingertips and wants for nothing. We already know from our text that Job has a massive farm. He has thousands of cattle. He has tons of sheep. And he has a huge family. In this particular agricultural context, Job is wealthy. But where Satan got it wrong is when he said that Job only has a devout relationship with you because of the things that you have given Job, because of his rich lifestyle, because he is happy and content with all that God has blessed him with. Satan was wrong. We know that Satan is wrong because Job says after he is stripped, he loses some of his children in debt. He loses some of his livestock. He loses his physical health to the point that his friends don't even recognize him. And when they come to see about Job, they say nothing at all. Let's talk about Job. For the last couple of weeks, we've talked about the things that have impacted Job as far as the causes and the effects of God and Satan. Right? Because it is Satan that has caused this particular issue. But it is God who has authorized Satan to test Job. Now, many of you may not have seen that in the scripture. But if you must read this word, you must read it as it is. Perhaps Satan has tried your character. And as the prosecutor, he believes that you have everything that you need from God. He believes that your devout worship and your relationship with God. Oh, how I love Jesus. But Satan thinks that you only love your Jesus because Jesus has been a blessing unto you. So if you take them blessings away, what do you have left? Satan believes you have nothing left. Satan believes that if he can strip you, just like he stripped Job, of your health, of your children, of your finances, your livestock, the very things that you indeed are grateful unto God for. Job was grateful unto God for all the many blessings. Every single day, Job intercessed not only for his family, but he also gave thanks and praises unto God. He would even intercede, even if nothing was going on, he would pray on behalf of his children in case they might have done something wrong. Job was not only a devout man, but Job was pretty righteous. After all, he was blessed. But the key point of this is that the blessings, where Satan was wrong, the blessings of Job were not based on the condition of devotion unto God. So, God has referred your name, just as he's referred Job. But Job had the right statement because he says that naked I came from my mother's womb, and naked shall I return unto the Lord. Therefore the Lord giveth and the Lord taketh away. Is that your same statement? There are many things that are going on within your life. Many tragedies and situations. Perhaps God is stripping you of things. Perhaps God is taking people out of your life. Perhaps God is doing something. There's some type of issue with your health or somebody else's health for that matter. God has referred your name. But what will be your response through all of this? Now, I'm speaking to you. You've lost things. This is a dire situation. But what will your response be? Is Satan right about you that you only bless God when he is blessing you? Or is the defense of God? You see, is the defense of God correct? So the defense of God for Job was that you can strip all of these things, Satan, from my servant, but I guarantee that my servant will remain faithful and loyal unto me. Does he have that same confidence? God has that same confidence in you, but do you have that of yourself? Will you curse God? Will you mope and moan and cry? And that's okay. If you mope, moan, and cry, guess what? Chapter 3 of Job deals with all of that. Job says, I cursed the day I was born. How many of us are like that? How many of us go through things and realize that it brings us down to a state of depression? Maybe things are not perfect for you in your life. Perhaps you're not married. Perhaps you don't have a family. Perhaps that love or that soulmate has not come into your life as of yet. Perhaps there are few friends. Perhaps you're not there in your career where you want to be. But guess what? Darkness only is for a moment. And it's okay in that darkness to cry out, to groan. Job cursed the day that he was born. Job was going through a dire, depressing time. He says, my hope has turned into gloom. He said, the night is so darkness that I could seize it. He says, why was I not buried like a stillborn child? He says, why was I even born? Have you ever wondered those same questions? Has your circumstances and situations ever got you down so bad to the point that you wish you weren't even born? Interesting enough that Job does a lot of cursing in chapter 3. But guess who he does not curse? He doesn't curse God. He doesn't abandon God. So it's okay to have your darkest emotions and questions and gloom. It's okay to be depressed and to curse the day that you were born, to go through those emotions. But guess what? Cheer up. Why? Because God, not Satan, is in control. God is in control. God gave authorization to Satan to test Job, just like he's given Satan the ability to test you and your character. When you get to the end of the book, we find the blessing that Job is restored. He passed the test. And guess what? The defense, which was God, and God's perception of Job was accurate. That no matter what he has in his life, that he is devoted unto me, that nothing could ever change his heart and love for me. Is that your same attitude as you go through this darkest period in your life? Will you remain devoted? Is the defense God? Is your defense? Is God's perception of you accurate? Or is it Satan's perception? Yeah, it's easy to bless God and to sing his praises and to rejoice when things are excellent, when the circumstances are good and the conditions are phenomenal. But what happens when those things are taken away? That's the true test of faith, is when things are uncertain, when you don't know how you will see tomorrow. That's where faith has the ability to be magnified, to be examined. So, with all that said, where will your faith? How will your faith measure out in this time of crisis? I'll see you next week. Take care.